sometimes you get all your wardrobe all set and you get everything all ready to go because you think you know what season it is.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you wake up one morning and realize, oh, it's flip season now. Today is flip season if you're the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk about it on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. He is Daniel. I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is fantastic. More on them in a moment. But as Daniel said to open us off, stop us if you've heard this before.
Okay, I'll listen. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, there you go. Recruiting, wait for it, never stops.
Well, I mean, if you're Dan Mullen, you sometimes you think about recruiting and then sometimes you're not thinking about recruiting. Is that not how Kirby does it?
No, Kirby is like a shark who thinks that his meal is the last meal out in front of him. Yeah, and has a hunger that cannot be
last time we ever going to eat.
Yeah, he's out here flipping recruits from South Carolina. By the way, just the more I think about it, the more I am a fan of Shane Beamer, and I hope he never leaves South Carolina because it is just cannon fodder for Kirby and UGA, Daniel.
Yeah, you're basically letting someone else do the advanced scouting, and then you come in and you just say, I'll have this one. Thank you. I'll have, the chef's already gone to the market, picked out the best looking fish, and he's got all the ingredients. He's done all the way. You just say, I'll have that one, and you just take it right off the menu.
That's exactly right.
That's what Kirby's doing. Shamari Earls, cornerback from state of Virginia, originally committed to South Carolina, as Clint mentioned. He's come awake to some other options available to him in his life, and there's plenty of them because he's being recruited by, I don't know, schools like Alabama and Texas and all them folks. And so got plenty of options. And again, initially a recruit to Shane Beamer there at South Carolina, but Kirby Smart and how about Dante Williams? Clint going and getting a little work done on
Got
this.
A little love from the recruiting trail, Daniel, from a lot of people giving him credit on this one.
Yeah, well, DB's coach at Georgia. Now it stands to reason he's going to factor in heavily. And how about T-Rod? T-Rod paying any dividends? I mean, I know Alabama was happy to see him walk away. They didn't even want to retain him.
We have better
everyone they offered. That's the person that accepted the job. They didn't ever offer anyone a job that was turned down. That's right. T-Rob doing fine at Georgia. He's gonna be paying dividends for years to come for this Georgia Bulldogs squad. But we're gonna talk about. Let's start out by just talking about this kid, Shamari Earls, 6'2", 180 cornerback prospect, 4 stars consensus. Number 8 corner in the class of 2024 or 2025, excuse me, as it stands right now, again, out of the state of Virginia. And it really is, Clint, I think we'll talk a lot about him and what kind of skill set he has and what he brings to the table, what style of player he is, but it's that size that stands out initially, is it not?
Y'all, the 6'2", 180, and I say 180, and he wears 180 like he is 225, Daniel.
Yeah, you look at him, he looks like a linebacker.
Looks like a linebacker, and he's a track athlete as well. And I think what's most impressive is you look at what Kirby wants to do at the cornerback position. This is one of what always happens, I think, on the defense for Kirby Smart. You have somebody who you just say, you're on an island, go have fun. Just lock down. I'll talk to the other 10. You know your assignment. He fits that mold in Georgia's defense. And if you look at what he is known for at Virginia, or in the state of Virginia, and at the highest level of ball there, he's known for being able to athletically shadow anybody else that you put up against him in the state and the guy around him, which again technique will come as you get in collegiate. There's nobody. Ellis Robinson is a freak because he has the technique to go with the athleticism and size. Earls is out here just pure instinct, able to hit on the hip of another wide receiver and not be lost. That is instinctual. That is shadowing. That is physicality. The rest will come, the back pedal, the brakes, the zone coverage, but man-to-man, just following a dude in the drill. He accelerates that, which if you're talking this day and age of football, Daniel, this is another dude who Kirby's going to caliber right into the rest of the defense pretty quick. We've seen this many times before at UGA, have we not?
Yeah, no, I mean, Kirby has had success, and that's what where I was gonna go next. You look at Kirby's track record and the corners he's been most successful with. He likes these big physical corners. He likes to be able to press guys at the line of scrimmage. He likes to be able, like you said, to put people on islands. He likes corners that are going to come down and stick their nose in the box and get after it in the run game. Hello? Are you going to be able to shed a block and make a tackle on a perimeter run on a screen? You better, or you can't play football these days. And so, yeah, physicality, toughness, size, athleticism. This kid's got all that built into the package as he comes on campus. Yeah. And now he steps in with a guy like Dante Williams, with a guy like Kirby Smart, with a guy like Will Muschamp in an off-the-field analyst role. And he's getting all the technique. He's getting all of the tutelage. He's getting all of the coaching that goes along with that. And all of a sudden you combine those two things together and you got the makings of a guy who could legitimately be a star in the SEC in Shamari Earls. And so, again, one of those two things you can teach, and one of those two things you can't. You cannot teach size. You cannot teach athleticism to a certain extent. It's just you either have it or you don't, and this kid obviously does. Physicality, the big size and the toughness, those to me are the most important aspects.
We might get to this later, but just really quick, 3 years from now, Daniel, you're telling me Ellis Robinson and Shamari Earls are your starting cornerbacks at UGA? Okay.
All right.
Okay. I don't care who you have a wide receiver. We're going to beat you.
I'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We're going to come back after these, talk more about this, what this means for UGA's recruiting class. But first of these. Game time's fantastic. It's summer and it's baseball season. And the Braves just took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies.
Not that we're paying attention.
But we are. But we are, because you've just wrote me back on in.
No, we'll get out of here.
Game Time is the authorized ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, which means getting tickets faster and easier. Prices in Game Time app actually go down as it closer gets to first pitch. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, lowest price guaranteed. You get to pick the game, the spot. You can see from the vantage point what you're going to pay, and this just in, all them fees are in the bottom line already. You don't have to wait to the checkout stand and all of a sudden realize that, oh, wait, I'm paying double for the price of this. Daniel, I've tried this before. Last-minute deals, save up to 60% off buying last-minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. Take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Daniel, we talked about the size of this kid. We talked about his ability in the past game to shadow folk with that. We talk about what he means to this recruiting class. All of a sudden, this recruiting class is shaping up with still plenty of spots left to fill. I think last count we are at, is it 18 that we're at now? 18 commits, 2 5-star, 14 4-stars. He fits within that 4-star. Daniel, what else stands out about his position and maybe what Kirby Smart and staff are doing on this recruiting trail, especially flipping from South Carolina this close to kickoff?
Yeah. And, so you look at the 2025 class, it is shaping up to be another good one. I mean, what else is it going to be? I don't know. At this point, it's like, I don't know.
Water's wet.
Good food tastes good. It's not hard to expect or predict that Georgia's going to have a great recruiting class. But you get this flip, and he is the first cornerback prospect committed to Georgia at this point. Georgia took 3 last year, headlined by Ellis Robinson. And so you do have some young corners in the pipeline, but the first in this class. Georgia's definitely going to be looking to add at least one more in this 2025 class. And so you like what you have at corner. If you're Georgia, obviously you feel like you're set for this year, at least in terms of a very clear pecking order in terms of 1 and 2. But you want to see some of these young guys continue to develop. And until you really know what you have, and if you're Kirby Smart, you have to keep adding guys. And so having a guy like this in the fold, getting that flip from South Carolina, all of a sudden opens the door where Kirby and his staff can be maybe a bit more choosy with who they go after with this other, maybe, I don't know if it's one other scholarship that they're willing to commit to corners, or you might go 3 again. I would imagine that it depends heavily on who is who's interested and who they feel like they've got a good shot down the line with. But it does feel like it opens some doors for this staff to try to continue to build on. You look at the defensive back recruiting, Clint, lately. I mean, you go back even a few years. You look at the safeties. Obviously, you had KJ Bolden last year. You had Aguero the year before. You have Ellis Robinson, committing this year, number 1 corner. And then you get a guy like this, Shamari Earls, to flip from South Carolina to build this class around consensus 4-star kid. You look at the defensive back recruiting, Clint, and it just continues to absolutely. Linebacker and defensive back, Kirby is absolutely crushing on the recruiting trail in a way that we don't see very often.
Again, go back and as Daniel said, if you look at these previous recruiting classes, the top recruits in what Kirby is trying to do is very meticulous. It's all for a reason. Linebacker is always there. DB is always there. AJ Harris, Aguero, Raylan Wilson. Those are the 3 of the 4 top recruits from 2023. CJ Allen, part of that. Damon Wilson. So edge, linebacker there. Linebacker, DB. Okay, you go to 2024. We already mentioned KJ Bolden, Ellis Robinson, Justin Williams, Chris Cole within that group as well. Okay, again, back end help. And then Kirby, what he's going to do is he's going to supplement the trenches after that by developing guys, keeping them in. A lot of Georgia players stay 3-4 years on the defensive line, especially offensive line as well. We've seen that consistently. We have our pecking order at running back. We get to choose a litter. Quarterback is there. But if you look at kind of the strategic nature of what Kirby does, DBs and linebackers, if you hit, you go quick in the draft. If you look at what the league is, you have to stop the pass. Yeah. Speedy, fast, physical guys. So Kirby says, I got to spend a lot of equity on recruiting those guys first. And it's prioritized. So you look at 2024 and then this year, 2025. We already mentioned Zayden Walker. Hello. One of the best standout. Samari Earls instantly slots in the top end of this. And maybe we'll come back and
for the top 5 guys in the 2025 class, either linebacker, edge, or defensive back. Like, as you said, for the top 5 commits, as it stands right now, you continue to see Kirby have his priorities in line. He clearly knows what he's about.
He knows what he's about. And this just in, for all of you Georgia fans right now who are furiously typing in the comments.
Man, well, it's only Georgia fans in the comments, because let me just break this down too for you, Clint. Nobody else cares anything about Georgia. Alabama fans, we're irrelevant to them.
We're little brother to Alabama, apparently, Alabama fan. Except you talk about me.
Except like, you're in my comments.
You're in my comments.
Isn't that weird?
Talking about me like the long lost lover who is with a better person now.
By the way, hi, because we know you're watching now. Hi.
Literally. So, and you're deleting the comment.
It's good to see you again.
Okay. Georgia fan who is commenting, hey, I wish we could take some of that equity and put it to wide receiver. Stop. This system that we are outlining right here. We are just observing what Kirby's doing. That's all we're doing. Okay.
We don't have any data about whether or not it works, though, Clint. What about does Kirby's system even work? How would we even know?
Name me a program that has won a national championship prioritizing wide receiver as its top get.
Ohio State.
Oh, nope. Sorry. I said national champion.
Oh, you didn't say lose to Michigan 3 years in a row.
I didn't say lose to Jim Try Hard Harbaugh.
By the way, maybe they'll beat Jim Harbaugh this year.
Who knows?
Oh, no. Maybe they'll beat Sharon Moore for the first time after being 0-1 against him. But, we digress. It's not an Ohio State podcast. You go 0-2 to Sharon Moore, we're going to have there'll be something.
We'll make a whole episode about you. Just so you know. Okay. Bucks.
Because we make no bones about it. We're not the Alabama fan. We will think that's hilarious, and we will go ahead and talk about it. Not a problem. All right. Speaking of things we'll talk about, we'll be right back. Wrap this episode up and give you our final thoughts on this topic right after these. Kirby Smart knows what he's doing, Clint.
He
And
does.
Shamari Earls is good at football. These are things that we've learned so far. I just wanted to recap for the people the ground we've covered today. Because some people will claim that we didn't say anything. There was just banter the whole time. And so I just want to recap the ground that we did cover.
But what if I could tell you I have news and information that is told to you in a whimsical way in which you laugh as well as learn something at the same time? Is that bad?
No, it doesn't help us. That's not what we're looking for. Just spit out the facts. The 199's here.
Did you see this, Daniel? Did you see this?
Is it back?
It's back.
Somebody helping us out?
The 199 logo.
Did Randy Spoon get into the did he get into the back end and put all of our graphics back in?
Randy, you're a saint.
We love Randy, by the way. And boy, the 199 is here. We love that. We love to see you guys here. Clint, what are our final thoughts on Shamari Earls? Where do you want to take this in the third segment for the 199?
I want to give you excitement and hope, because a lot of you are talking about that number one ranking as it pertains to recruiting and the classes and that sort of thing. I think we're going to have to be top 3 no matter what. But you're thinking to yourself, I want that number 1 spot. I need it. I'm jonesing for it. Okay. I'm going to give you a little perspective on that and then talk about Shamari Earls and what I think he could do. We've talked a lot in this class already. Linebackers really got us excited. Zayden Walker, I think, could be he could be the best linebacker in Georgia when he arrives on campus.
I mean, and you're talking about Justin Williams, Chris Cole, and Zayden Walker in back-to-back classes.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about Zayden Walker here.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if you look at this class and you look what we're about to do, I think Shamari Earls has the potential to easily climb to that 5-star rating real quick. He's in the best competition. He's in Virginia. He's got that height, that weight, that speed, the thing that we're waiting on him for. He's got 4 stars just basically by looking at him on a photograph.
He walks off the bus and you're like, 4-star.
Right.
Like that kid's a 4-star.
This kid plays this season, a couple weeks in, and his technique, his footwork, putting that foot in the bucket, coming forward, coming not just downhill, but in a back pedal, turning the hips, getting vertical in a hurry. All of a sudden that happens. 5 stars, just wait. Somebody is waiting. Somebody has a graphic just primed and waiting for game 1 or 2 for to see that and then hit that out there. Say, yep, he's accelerated. He's up. He's on top of that. Dog fans.
Also, can we say the quiet part out loud real quick, Clint? Because this is a podcast where we like to say, where we like to do these things.
Thank you.
Don't act like recruiting gurus and insiders aren't going to be like, oh, he flipped from South Carolina to Georgia. Give him a 5th star. That ain't just Alabama, y'all, that happens with. That's recruiting gurus and insiders are just guys trying to sell newspapers. You know that, right? Like we're just trying to sell the newspapers. Guess who buys the newspapers? You do, Georgia fans. Until you stop, you do. So
you're feeding a market that is fraudulent.
Don't act like that 5th star might not be coming just based on the logo, that Power G that he's going to be repping at all of his high school games now on that towel hanging off of his waist.
That's happening. We need to make a t-shirt, Daniel, for the 199 that just is we'll think of it. But again, stars mean nothing to Kirby. He doesn't care. He does his own evaluation. And if gurus and insiders were actually good at their job, they'd be hired by him today. He would pay them whatever amount of money. They would have a blank check from Kirby if they were accurate and knew what they were doing. Anyway, I digress. I think easily this kid gets a 5-star pretty quick in the cycle. I think he jumps up. Right now, he's 68 nationally. Composite 105. I think that composite goes way, way higher. I think 24/7 and wherever else you get your information from is going to have him in the top 50 very soon, Daniel, which is going to it's going to bump us up to number 2 in recruiting class rankings composite. Only with Ohio State to go. Ohio State's nearly done with their class. They're going to have a couple people flipping. I think we have a couple of wide receivers and defensive line that are coming our way as well. So this plus the rest of them, I think number 2 is a lock. Number 1 is well within sights.
Yeah, and you know, do you remember the show Whose Line Is It Anyway, Clint? Everything's made up and the points don't matter. It's just like it just doesn't matter. And so it's great. More good players is better than less good players. The number 1 ranking does not mean you have more good players than the number 2 ranking.
Nope.
It just doesn't mean that. It means that somebody thinks you might have more good players than the number 2 ranking.
That's right.
But that doesn't matter. We play football. That's what we do. And so
play the game. By the way, really quick, Robin Williams on Whose Line Is It Anyway? 1 episode happened. Go find it. It's gold.
It's really good. Ryan Stiles and Robin Williams. It's a great comedy duo. May he rest in peace. We will be back later this week. We've got lots to discuss, lots more Georgia football to talk about, guys. It's now basically mid-July, and football happens in August. We are cruising through July, Clint.
I didn't think we'd get here, but
we are nearly to the month where football happens. And so if you're not already locked in, get locked in. Make this a regular part of your week. We'll be back several days this week talking to you all about this Georgia football team, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.